Hi everyone, welcome back. It's me, Maeve, here with the second creative writing video, which is being brought to you by the Fingal Libraries to celebrate the Fingal Summer Stars. I hope you have all been writing and are ready to take the next step on our storytelling journey together. In this video, we are going to deal with perspective, which means point of view. So who is telling the story? Writers use perspective as a way to develop their characters further and to give their readers the chance to get inside their characters' heads and find out what they are thinking and feeling. It also gives writers the chance to describe an event or a setting from a different angle. It is really important because it is the voice the writer has chosen to tell their story. So before you ever sit down to write, I want you to make sure that you have chosen the character or characters that are going to tell your tale, and make sure you know why you have chosen them. Maybe they know more than any other character, or maybe they don't know very much at all. Either way, it is your job to make sure that you have chosen the best point of view to tell your story from. There are 3 points of view that we can choose from. The first person point of view uses I. So I did this, I did that. It means that the character is involved in the action, the plot and the twists. So they're right there when everything is happening. The second point of view, or the second person point of view, uses you and your. It can be quite an interesting point of view to use because you are speaking directly to the reader, but it can also be quite difficult because you might struggle to get all of the story in there. The third person point of view uses he, she, or they. So it means the writer is telling you a story about the characters. You can choose to stick closely to one character, or you can dip in and out of as many characters' minds as you like while you navigate your reader through your story. It is quite common that writers will move from one perspective to the next by using chapters, and they would do this to provide their readers with multiple points of view. What I want you to remember is what we spoke about in our first video when I was saying that characters need to have strengths and weaknesses. When it comes to perspective, this means that we must not forget who our characters are and who we wanted them to be. So we need them to be realistic. We need to remember what our characters know and what they don't know. Sometimes our characters are in the dark and the reader has to read on, questioning them or believing in them until they find the light together. To explore perspective more, we are going to tell another set of stories set in another world. So I hope you have your pencil and some paper ready, because here we go again. For this adventure into perspective, we are going to solve the mystery on the Mad Express. But first, I want to give you some tips and things to think about. The first is that the point of view you choose to tell your story from can help you build suspense. If your reader knows more or less than one of your characters, it allows them to feel like they are involved in the story, which will reel them in. The second is that the perspective you choose can help you create an unreliable character. Maybe a character that your reader does not like or does not trust. Maybe the character is sneaky. Maybe they have bad intentions, or maybe they simply don't pay attention and they miss out on bits of the plot that other characters do not. The third thing is that perspective can help you create some comedy in your story. Maybe there's a miscommunication between two of your characters that you are able to highlight in different chapters by changing points of view, and maybe there's a funny altercation that comes out of that. Or maybe there's just simply some confusion that once again you are able to show by changing the perspective. Now it is time for us to board the Mad Express, where Captain Mad, aka me, is simply there to lay out the journey ahead. It is up to you what happens and from whose perspective you are going to tell it from. So while you are travelling down the snowy mountains and along the riverbeds, remember as always that imagination is key, there are no limits and every possibility. Now that we are on board the Mad Express, I want to tell you a little bit about it. It has a reputation for always arriving on time, no matter where it goes or what happens. It offers excellent service and takes pride in the wonder it provides. I want you to meet the Mad Express operator, who I like to call Sal. Sal takes the tickets from the passengers and stamps them. He takes their luggage and puts it away safely. He drives the train and continually stocks the engine with coal. And he dishes out the dinner, desserts, drinks, tea and coffee whenever the passengers request them. But how does Sal do it? Maybe he has a twin. Maybe he has superpowers, and maybe he can run really fast, or maybe he can teleport. Whatever it is, I want you to decide now. And I want you to do this so that when it comes to writing your character's story, you'll be able to let them solve the mystery for your reader. There are 5 passengers on board the Mad Express. They all paid the same price for their ticket, and they all know that the journey will take 24 hours. There is a backpacker, a magician, a person wearing glasses and carrying a walking stick. There is a doctor, and our personal favourite, there is a writer. I want you to choose 2 passengers on board the Mad Express, and I want you to tell me why they chose to travel on it and how did they feel when they realised that there was only one person taking care of everything that needed to be done. I also want you to choose two passengers that had very different experiences. So maybe one that really enjoyed it and one that found it quite scary because maybe they're not used to a lot of magic. I want you to do this so you are exploring the possibilities that exist when we play around with perspective. Okay? And remember everything that we've talked about in our first video and earlier on in this one. We want to build relatable characters, and we want to use the tools that we have to create suspense and maybe some comedy, but definitely some depth within our stories, okay? We want to reel our readers in and make sure that they cannot help but turn the page. After you have written how 2 of the passengers got on while they were on the Mad Express, I want you to finish then with a diary entry written by Sal, who writes in his diary every night when he docks up the train. What I want you to do in the diary entry is to explain exactly how Sal manages to take care of everything that needs to be done on board the Mad Express. And I want you to explain maybe how he feels and what goes through his head, and why does he do it really? Does he love his job, or is he trapped maybe in some magical time warp? Whatever it is, I am dying to hear. As I had said before, you can send your stories in to library.events@fingal.ie, and I would love to have a read of them and get back to you with some feedback. Until next week, good luck building your perspective and telling your story through the eyes that you have given your characters. Enjoy the summer stars, and I will see you very soon.